else I want to check out right here. Y'all see this shit? I seen this on my you feel me? Just on my recommendations on YouTube. Why labels want your favorite rappers dead? Now, chat, listen. I know that might be like a wild ass statement this nigga making, but chat, it's low key true. Cause I hope y'all niggas know, like, this is facts. Like, I hope you know your favorite artist is more useful to their label dead than alive. Look at X and Juice and Pop Smoke. They are literally the perfect examples of this shit. Look how much they still milking X to this day, putting out his old songs, knowing that nigga is dead and gone, has nothing else in the vault. And they gonna do the same thing with Juice. I know Juice still got a couple songs out there, you know, from his leaks and shit, but still, your favorite artist, I hope you know, is more useful to they label dead than alive. Cause if they super popular, like super like famous, and they died, do you know how much money they gonna make? Oh, first of all, their streams gonna go up and everything in their whole catalog gonna go up, and then they can milk them. Oh, let's have this for an event, merch and all type. It's sad, but it's the truth, chat. Whether you don't like it or not, it's the fucking truth, man.
Are rappers worth more dead than alive?
Yes.
And if so, is it really a coincidence?
These niggas are literally the full prime example. What the hell? These niggas are literally the full prime examples of this shit, boy. These two niggas right here.
Are rappers worth more dead than alive?
These niggas right here are the prime examples of this shit. I don't know why the fuck he put X twice, but literally X, Pop Smoke, and Juice are literally the prime examples of like how you are more useful to your label dead than alive, folks.
And if so, is it really
they
a
still
coincidence?
milk X to this fucking day.
I'm Luesta, and today we're answering a few uncomfortable questions.
What you want, Rico? Yo, ass coughing.
It's astonishing to see the long list of rappers who have passed away in recent years. I would read that list, but honestly, it's just way too long. Whereas the deaths of Tupac and Biggie scarred an entire generation of hip-hop fans, today's consumers are so used to seeing their heroes either gunned down or dying from substance abuse.
Okay, hold on. Okay. Gang, listen, I'm not gonna be on you too much, but it's like, what is this edit? Like, why did you edit a bullet going through my nigga's head and literally made a sound effect of everything? Like, you know what? What the, come on, gang. Like, that's fucking weird. Like, what the fuck is you doing? This supposed to be funny or also like, wow, this is a good ass, what the fuck?
And what takes place after a rapper's death is frighteningly consistent. And every time, the labels know that there's money to be made.
Yes,
like the hip-hop vet Jim Jones said, we have more rappers getting killed than we have weeks in a year. Every day they talk about a different rapper that just got shot, or was involved in a shooting, or something like that. Being a rapper in today's society is definitely the most dangerous job in the world. Considering how unsafe it is out there, you would think that record labels would be taking steps to save these young artists from prematurely passing. But some rappers believe this is exactly what they want, as when a rapper dies, their sales explode. Seriously, I can't believe I'm saying this, but as horrible as it sounds, there's tons of evidence to back this.
Yeah, like I just said that. PNB Rock, X, Juice, Lil Peep, like, it's true. Pop Smoke, like, it's true. King Von, like, they stats go up, they streams, and they be way more popular than what they was. Like, it's actually sad as fuck, because where was that love when I was fucking alive? You feel me?
It's up.
Crazy, folks.
But the truth of the matter when it comes to hip-hop, in my opinion, is like, we gotta stop pretending we care about these people and we care about these kids. This is a business. They want to use you and destroy you and get your money, and it's better for their business if you're dead. That's why they put out albums after you died. If they cared about you as an artist, they
posthumous albums or posthumous, how the fuck you say that word. They do merch, they do events and all type of shit. And they doing that shit. They don't care about the artist. They just do this shit because they know a bunch of fans gonna buy this shit because the artist is dead and just money. You have to forget, y'all keep forgetting, people, at the end of the day, everything in life is about money. These are labels. These are companies. They are labels. They're not sitting there like, damn, oh no, X passed away. No, damn, like, no, like, we have to, let's do this for the fit. No, they sitting there like, okay, he passed away. How can we still make, damn, okay, like, yeah, okay, yeah, all right, cool, yeah, it's cool, you know, he passed away and shit. How can we still make money off him, man? Damn. Check his files. He still got more music. Oh yes, bet. Let's make that album. Let's do that. Let's go do. That's literally how the fuck they be thinking. Like, it's sad, but it's true, folks.
You wouldn't do that.
Like Vince Staples suggested, their actions prove that they are indifferent towards whether you survive. Every time that a rapper dies, the streaming numbers of their existing catalogs boom. For example, after PNB Rock was tragically shot and killed in 2022, his numbers shot up 652%.
Yeah.
His song Selfish also re-entered the charts at number 17, making it his first appearance on the charts in over 3 years. This track was also released by Atlantic Records, which is the same label that PNB Rock had been at odds with for years over an unfair deal. But still, even after he passed, they were making money from him, his music, and most importantly, his beloved fans. Similarly, when XXXTentacion and Pop Smoke lost their respective lives, their numbers were equally insane. For X, he broke Taylor Swift's one-day streaming record, while Pop Smoke's numbers rose by 400%. As the news of Juice WRLD's passing hit, sales rose by 487%, and for Mac Miller, that number was up to 970%.
Damn.
All of this is absurd when you consider how popular they already were
Cause Shaq, y'all have to remember this. I hate when the motherfuckers be like, oh, X won the pop photo. Y'all realize how big X was before he fucking died? That nigga X had people like Kanye West acknowledge him. Kendrick Lamar. Even though they was in tour with each other, but even Drake, like people, even J. Cole a little bit, like people, you have to realize X was already at a super fucking star. Come on, Rico, damn. X was already at a superstar like status when he was alive. Do everybody just fucking forget about that shit? Why y'all act like that nigga was like an underground type right? Nobody knew who the fuck that nigga was. Really big and said, y'all know what type of numbers that nigga was doing when he was alive? That nigga was doing numbers. That nigga already was big as fuck. To be honest with you, when X died, it didn't even feel like to me that he got even bigger than what the fuck he was. He already was that fucking big. Juice WRLD, the same thing. Juice WRLD was already breaking records when he was alive and shit. You feel me?
To begin with. So you can see why it's so profitable for labels to have your favorite rappers killed. And this is only streaming. Think of all the unfinished projects that were released by the labels to make.
I ain't gonna lie, I hate this project right here. This shit was so like, it was just a bunch of features from artists I know X probably would never even worked with, and this shit was just
even more money. It just seems like a tasteless cash grab if they're releasing something the artist never got the chance to veto.
Why?
Like they're using them for name recognition, which already kinda sucks, but exponentially more so when they're dead. Shockingly, 7 of the artists in the top 10 most streamed albums on Spotify are all dead. Horrifying as it may be, death in hip-hop sells, and unless you're King Von, Nipsey Hussle, or Young Dolph, who all famously refused to sign to major labels and held on to their masters, a lot of those
I'm so glad Von, Nipsey, and Young Dolph did that, because these niggas really own their master, mean they family will get to like, and their kids will be straight for life. That means they owe all their money and everything, and same thing would happen to Vaughn if he were that. Let's say if Vaughn was signed to like a major ass record label. They'll literally be doing the same thing with Vaughn people right now. I hope y'all know they'll literally be doing the same thing with him right now. Milking his music, this and that, woo woo. Like, I'm glad they taking time with Vaughn's music, his team taking time with releasing his music. They're not here, Vaughn, constantly in your face. It's taking time. It's like boom, boom, boom. Like Vaughn's last album, I love his last album. I love it. Phone and grave, folks.
Office aren't necessarily going to your grieving family members.
So they'll do his part.
When a label signs an artist, by nature, it is a financial transaction.
Right.
For the most part, labels aren't necessarily there to provide guidance, but instead...
Everybody knows this. I hope you know, chat, like, if you are a coming rapper in my channel, whatever, or on YouTube, whatever, like, I hope you know, these labels are not there. They're not going to give you no guidance. They're just there to see how much money they can make off you or you can make for them. That's it. That's the reason why they sign to you. All that guidance and shit, you gotta get that shit from somebody else. They are there to purposely fuck you over, folks.
They're there to promote you for their own ends. The only thing that an artist gets is money and fame, and that's if they survive. After all, most of the time, they've got your publishing rights and masters in exchange for giving you a massive audience, leaving you in debt to them until they recoup. So while it is undeniable that they want to protect their investment, that doesn't necessarily mean that their top priority is the person creating the output. The investment for them is the music and holding the copyright and licensing rights.
Facts.
But the industry's honesty about their view has never been clearer than what's known as the death clause, which is found in contracts that are signed by artists. Let's see how this works by taking a look at the one Kurt Cobain contract with Nirvana. According to the documents, it says that the company shall have the right to secure insurance equivalent to 10 times the estimated value of the artist's earnings from any source of revenue, solely for the company's benefit. In Cobain's case, where he, quote, shot himself, that amounted to several $billion. And yes, that's with a B. And if you didn't know, Kurt Cobain shot himself with a shotgun, which is said to be physically impossible. He was also said to have been so high off heroin when he killed himself that he would have literally been too out of it to pull the trigger, let alone get the gun in his mouth, which further fuels the narrative that it could be the labels who are the ones putting out the hits on artists so they can secure the bag.
All right, my nigga, look, okay. If that's your theory, my nigga, I guess, but I'm not finna fucking sit here and be like, oh my god, these labels are the ones killing y'all. I was like, no, gang. X that for some niggas, for some bitch ass, broke ass niggas that were desperate and they robbed him. B that, same thing. Bitch ass niggas tried to rob him and they killed him. Von that swung on the nigga, it went bad. It's just a fight that went wrong. Nipsey that, it was gang related. Niggas, you know, drive-by shooting, shot him. Pop Smoke, home invasion robbery gone wrong. Like, it just, no. Labels don't send hits out on their own fucking artists. That actually makes no fucking sense.
To make matters worse, they also don't even need to consult the artist and can actively keep the information confidential if they wish. Speaking about his own past and dispute with other rappers, French Montana explored the prominence of these life insurance policies on Academics' Off the Record podcast.
And we was beefing for real, like people was like dying and this and that, and it was just like, it was blocking a lot of money. People don't want to touch you. You know what I'm saying? You know, your rap friends, somebody gets shot, your rap friends stop picking up, the label stop picking up. Nah, it gets crazy. You know what I'm saying? It gets crazy. But now it's even crazier because they getting life insurance on artists. At least back then we didn't have that.
Is a label signing an artist in good faith if you're taking a life insurance out on him?
No, you praying on his death. You praying on making millions on his death.
Echoing what French said, Jadakiss is now calling out the negligence of the record industry's part in terms of keeping rappers safe.
Record labels are being successful off nonsense. Somebody went out, did something stupid, recorded a song about it, and was able to get a lot of streams, and that became a thing with the whole drill. And they actually going out.
That's another thing I need to talk about. People, you know how much money these regulators be making off drill artists too? These regular, I hope y'all know, they are in love with drill artists. They be praying they find people like King, Von, Dirk, Young Boys, and all type of shit out. So they be going out doing stupid ass shit and rapping about on songs and shit. I'm telling y'all, for this shit's a whole monopoly.
Getting active and doing stuff, and then going to the studio and make a song about what they just did. And that shit get nipped in the bud as soon as it got created. But nobody's going to these labels saying they wrong for this. We just blaming it on the kids. Putting out life insurance on these young kids now.
Wow.
The label, because they're gambling on you to do some dumb shit so they can profit after you die. This is getting ridiculous.
But it's clear that labels do.
I hope y'all know, like, your favorite artist right now. I hope you know your label. You know, deep down, your favorite artist label want them dead so bad. What your favorite rapper, Young Boy, Dirk, or whoever, I hope you know your favorite, like, your labels, them niggas will be more useful to them labels, to their labels dead than alive. They be praying they artists is dead. Especially if they that big a pop. Oh yeah, they be praying on it. That shit go more money, double the money.
Do not care about their artists' lives.
So what
and a good example of this is the way that Warner Bros. Treated Waka Flocka Flame after he nearly lost his life in 2010. In my most recent video discussing Waka Flocka Flame, I highlighted his harrowing experience in 2020 when he was shot and robbed. This traumatic event landed him in the hospital for several months, during which he faced temporary memory loss. The gravity of the situation was such that he could have easily lost his life. At that point, Waka was at the height of his career, releasing chart-topping tracks like No Hands and Grove Street Party, and considering he was a prolific asset generating millions of dollars for his label Warner Bros. Record, you would assume that they would rally around him and extend support. However, per Waka's account, this expectation fell tragically short.
Nah, they don't think like that. No, when I got shot, my label ain't called me a guy named Ty Moskowitz. He ain't called me and say, yo, you okay? You know what I'm saying? That was Warner Brother. Guess what this man said? Yo, can you record?
Damn.
From that day forward, after I got shot, I never in my life trust labels.
As horrible as this was even back then, the money that was being made off Waka Flocka pales in comparison to how much hip-hop can generate today. Over time, the profits have grown so much that there are even conspiracy theories that Empire Records is killing off their artists to cash out these insurance policies after artists on their rosters such as MO3, Young Dolph, King Von, PNB Rock, and XXX
Again, no, people, y'all see this chat. This is a example of when I say in too deep. You are in too deep. No, people. Yes, it's the artist making money off them after they die and milking them. Yes, that's 100% true. But no, their labels are not sending out hits on them for them to die. No, they're not doing that shit. It just wrong place, wrong time, and just fucked up situations that they just get themselves in. Vaughn got himself in a fucked up situation. X should have been rolling with Mo Security. My nigga Mo got caught lacking. Mo 3 got caught lacking. Young Dolph, same thing. Fucking Pop Smoke, same thing. PNB Rock, same thing.
Tentacion have all passed away. And while we're not going to delve into that, what we do know is that with rappers getting younger and younger, there are definitely some issues that need to be resolved if labels and managers want to prove that they see rappers as anything more than cash cows. And a great example of this was the case with rapper Lil Peep. When Lil Peep died during his US tour from Xanax laced with fentanyl on November 15, 2017, it was shocking to see how everyone around him was used to him being completely out of it. During his IG stories at the time, Peep regularly popped pills on camera and no one looked to intervene. At the same time, Peep seemed to have been actively calling out for help and was struggling to deal with his anxiety. And in his final radio interview, he basically sounded like he was at a breaking point.
If anything, things have gotten worse, probably.
Because of the traveling and the touring and the pressure?
Yeah, things just get worse. The anxiety just gets worse and worse and worse every day.
Soon after, Peep would be dead at 21 years old. And once he passed, his mother, Lisa Womack, began to point out the inadequacies in terms of his management. First Access Entertainment treated him and eventually sued them for wrongful death. His label and media company, First Access, gave him pills frequently and encouraged him to do drugs to keep up the image. Even though Peep wanted to slow down, knowing his use was affecting him negatively. Where the company's CEO, Sarah Stennett, previously told Rolling Stone that she had felt protective of him from day one, once the lawsuits began, she described their dealings as an arm's-length business arrangement. According to them, Lil Peep's contract with First Access was purely of a business nature, and not the type of special relationship giving rise to an independent duty of care for one's safety and or well-being. In response, Lisa claimed that they undertook the task of controlling and managing Peep's personal life, even accusing them of propping him on state in a comatose state. According to Lisa, Peep, quote, expressed a desire not to perform, which was met with an instruction by his tour managers that he take an excessive amount of Xanax, so as to make himself sick, which would in turn trigger insurance coverage of cancellation. Basically, they wouldn't let him cancel the tour even if it meant saving his life unless they were going to get their fair share. Eventually, they settled out of court, but not before they made a massive profit from their share of Peep's streaming numbers and his posthumous albums. Peep had a rumored net worth of $300,000 at the time of his death. Since then, his estate is valued at over $7 million. Considering that Peep recorded at a prolific rate, they could have milked him for years to come if his mom didn't step in, and he's not the only one. Take Juice WRLD for example. According to reports that emerged after his incredibly tragic death, the Chi-Town artist had recorded over 2,000 unreleased songs during his
half of them is lead, half of them have been released. Yeah, I know.
His very short lifetime. At some point, his ex-girlfriend Ali Lottie believed that he gave so much to the label in terms of that he ultimately became disposable to them as a person. And according to her, she actually tried to stop him.
I would literally sit on his lap.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. I get what Shorty's saying, but this bitch, yo, she got OnlyFans. I heard she was selling Juice's clothes. Listen, it's a lot. I ain't gonna speak on nothing. Ain't none of my business. But look, that I don't know.
Every day.
She out there. I ain't gonna lie. Her ass out there.
Don't go record. Since my mom was. They don't need us. They don't need you anymore. You made so many songs that we're a liability being here.
Ultimately, music is a cold and calculating industry. So if a rapper forfeits control over their catalog and exploiting it would be profitable, that's exactly what they'll do. So if record companies aren't going to help, what can be done to change things? Well, it seems like it may have to be on the rappers themselves to overhaul the culture, place legal statutes in place, and look over each other. When I'm gone, please don't release any posthumous albums or songs with my name attached. Reads the tattoo on the arm of Anderson .Paak. Those were just demos and never intended to be heard by the public. These days, more and more people are waking up to how a label will descend on a dead rapper's leftovers and feast on them till there's nothing left but scraps. As a result, some artists like Anderson .Paak and Tyler the Creator are taking steps to prevent this from happening to them.
Shit.
Some of these are so good, I can't just let it sit on my hard drive because I have in my will that if I die, they can't put no fucking post out. Some random feature on it, some nigga.
Exactly. That's the same thing they did with X. I just said that. His last album that they have released, I think it was called Ugly or something like that. Whatever, fucking Bad Vibes Forever. I forgot what it was called, but literally, that it was so many random ass features on it. I've never seen X interact with a day in my fucking life. Like they will leave those features on these dead artists' albums that they've never talked to or interacted with a day in their fucking life.
Didn't fuck with it. Like, no.
But while this is all well and good, it doesn't overhaul the cause of the problem, and that is the premature deaths of rappers. Well, for one thing, there is some hopeful signs that the current generation are coming through the other side of the habits that were leading to addiction. After Peep died, a lot of people stopped partying every day. Says Morgan Baden, his former producer, under the name Wicca Springs Eternal, the younger kids don't do stuff as much because they see all the shit that happened in the last few years. Similarly, other rappers who were shaken by the loss of Juice WRLD swore off certain substances, including Trippie Redd. Since then, he's spoken out to raise awareness of how dangerous things like sipping lean can be.
Don't do lean. Please don't do lean, bro. That shit is liquid heroin.
Facts. Chucky looking ass nigga. Shout out Trippie though. Facts. Don't do any drugs, sis. Don't pop pills. Don't drink. Don't. I know you may think you see your friends do that shit. You rap people. That shit not cool. That shit gonna kill you, and you gonna be fucked up mentally. You wanna be a zombie your whole life. You gonna be fucked up and slow. I know you probably going through some fucked up shit, people. Then that's a thing called therapy. Go to therapy. Being on drugs doesn't fix the problem. It's not fixing shit. It's actually making the situation worse. Cause then you were gonna be dependent off that shit to a point where you can't live without that shit. Perks, eggs, and all that goof ass shit. Molly, lean is literally liquid heroin, folks. Stop it. Stop doing all them drugs, kids. It's not cool. Smoke some weed or something. Drink a little lick, but not too much. On phone the brain, like, folks, y'all niggas popping pills, doing all drink. Like, why do you want to be like a fucking zombie and just fucked up? Like, your face be fucked up, your brain be fucked up. Like, come on, folks. No. You be falling asleep while that. Like, no, G. Hell no. You be scratching and twitching and shit. Come on, folks.
I stopped. I had went to my manager's house and stopped kicking at his house. And I got sick as fuck, bro. That shit crazy, bro. Like, I wouldn't wish that upon nobody, bro. Hell no. You get addicted too quick to that shit. Fuck that shit.
In terms of the likes of Lil Durk, he's now seeking to make changes in places like Chicago that have claimed the lives of FBG Duck, King Von, and countless others.
okay, you got I don't know how I feel about this nigga making this video. He's just been doing weird shit throughout this whole video. You got Doug right, but Vaughn didn't died in Chicago game. He died in Atlanta. Savannah, actually. He died in Savannah, Georgia. Or Atlanta, I don't know. Whatever.
Others. Many rappers are becoming uncomfortable with projects that are released after someone has died. Granted, these can be done right. Think of Mac Miller's posthumous album Circle, for example. But when you look at a record like Pop Smoke's Faith, you can clearly see why people are beginning to sour on the concept.
Right.
Even though he made history with the album when he became the first artist to posthumously debut his first 2 studio albums at #1 on the Billboard 200, his second project was reviled both by those close to him and the fans. Pop Smoke would have never wanted this album, wrote one fan on Twitter. I like this music, but this album wasn't it.
Facts.
Labels always overdo anything for money. With producer Rico Beats claiming that if Pop was alive, he wouldn't have approved 90% of the stuff they put out, Hip Hop DX placed it in their most disappointing albums of 2021 list, declaring that even though the smoke will never clear, it's time to let Pop Smoke's legacy rest. But while there is plenty that hip hop itself can do, that doesn't mean that record companies should be let off the hook either.
WVid, man, I guess. I'm not gonna say WVid. Just the cool vid, I guess, though. Just this nigga, Luisita, I guess. Some nigga that I don't know. I don't know, gang. He was just making some weird ass remarks. I don't know. But, you feel me? That shit was cool. Cool comment, friend. But, chat, I'm telling you, the world's the devil, man. These labels are demons. Chat, I'm telling y'all. These labels is demons, chat. They is demons. They is demons. These motherfuckers don't give a fuck up about a nigga on front of them.